I'm Adam Zawadzkis, and I'm training for my first 100-mile race in July 2023. This is my weekly series covering each run from week 51 to week 77 of my ultramarathon training plan, spanning almost a year and a half. This is the summary of week 57 out of 77 of my ultramarathon training plan. Heading into the taper week, I figured it'd be best to do a short half-hour run to get some active recovery in and see how I'm feeling after the weekend's 31-mile long run. I felt a tad stiff at the beginning of the run and had a twinge in my knee, but that all went away by the end after I loosened up. One thing I might try from now on is rolling out my legs with a hand roller to loosen up muscle fibers before heading out on runs to see if that makes any difference. This was a short but sweet run, and 4 easy miles were done. Then came the usual Tuesday track workout. I woke up this morning to the sound of sideways blowing freezing rain, but was lucky as it turned to snow and then just flurries. Upon completing the 2-mile warm-up to the track, I found it covered in a thin sheet of slush, but it didn't interfere in any major ways except just getting my feet a bit wet, which is a given for every run until May. Today I completed 8 800-meter repeats with a goal to stay under 2:55 for each rep, and only 1 minute of rest in between them. This was a pretty hard workout as I knew there wasn't a ton of volume today compared to previous weeks. So I really picked the pace up for this workout and just kept counting 1, 2, 3, 4 in my head over and over to maintain my desired paces. Also, the wind didn't cooperate with my tripod today, so I had to lower the angle to try and get more stability. Overall, this is a great workout, and I'm honestly quite happy I won't be seeing the track again until April. On Wednesday, I woke up to a clear but cold early morning. Today the calendar called for an easy 7 miles, so I headed in a direction I usually avoid because there are a lot of hills this way. This time, however, having run the past 50 or so miles on flat ground over the past 10 days, hills sounded like a nice change this time around. The hills turned out to be a breeze because the cold kept my heart rate very low this morning. So much so that Garmin now says I have a VO2 max of 60, which is up from 58 from when I started this training block back in January. Therefore, that's about 1 point every month. Overall, this run went by quickly and really showed off the progress that has been made so far this year. Then on Thursday, you guessed it, it was time for another threshold workout. Today was a 7-mile tempo variation. Weather this morning was 26 and clear with no wind, so I felt very good going into the workout. I started out with a warm-up of 6:59. Then mile 2 was a 6:31 with a 6:40 to 7:10 goal. Mile 3 was a 6:11 with a 6:10 to 6:40 goal. Mile 4 was a 5:45 with a 5:40 to 6:10 goal. Mile 5 was a 6:08 with a 6:10 to 6:40 goal. Mile 6 was a 6:33 with a 6:40 to 7:10 goal time. And finally, mile 7 cooldown was a 7:14. From the get-go, I knew this was going to be a fast workout as I set off on the warm-up at a 7 flat pace and struggled to slow myself down. I ended up overshooting most of the goal times, but that is totally fine, and I also set a 10K PR of 39:40, my first 10K time under 40 minutes. So this was a great workout, to say the least, and was feeling fantastic afterwards and was ready for the rest of the week. Now on Friday, it was time to knock out this week's long run of 16 miles. This morning, I was expecting a snowstorm to happen while I was out there, but it turned out to be a bust and it was just a dusting. I ran my usual long run route in the area, the one I often used during marathon training last year. This run started out feeling kind of sluggish as I probably didn't eat enough on Thursday throughout my busy day, but after a few gels and a half an hour in, the run really opened up and I got it done feeling pretty good. Lastly, to finish off the taper week, I had 14 miles to complete for the day, which I split into 2 7-mile runs, one in the morning and one at noon. The first run was pretty similar to Friday's run actually, where during the first 3 miles I felt kind of rough, but then felt good towards the end. Also, after the past 2 easy runs on hilly routes, I returned to the usual flatter route for this run. Overall, run 1 went well, and 7 miles were completed in 55 minutes. Then, run number 2 was very similar, but I felt good starting this one, as I made sure to get some extra carbohydrates in this morning with breakfast to fuel this run, and it sure worked. Maintaining the same heart rate, this morning's run was at a 7:48 minute per mile pace, but this afternoon was at a 7:30 minute per mile pace. This run was even better, and the last 7 miles were complete. To conclude, that sums up how I tapered for the 50-mile race I'm now 1 week out from. I shoot to reduce my total weekly volume by 25 to 30% from my peak training mileage, so this week came to 56.52 miles compared to last week's 80. Tapering for a race is great because it gives your body a chance to recover more effectively after building mileage for a long time. And the challenge here is to win the mental game. During this period, you can feel as if you're losing fitness because you're running a lot less, and it messes with your head for sure. Also, this can be the period where anxiety sets in about getting sick, getting injured, or something a bit more serious. However, it's just important to relax, keep working hard at every run during the taper period, take recovery seriously, take nutrition seriously, and it'll all pay off on race day, where you'll feel healthy, rested, and ready to crush that race. It's important to trust the process. So thank you for watching another week of this journey, and next week we'll cover the couple of runs I'm doing early in the week, and all of the gear we're bringing to the race next week, and I'll have a separate video for the race as well. Alright, I'll see you.